Namaste. My name is Sawant. May peace be upon you. Why you shouldn't be doing yoga? If you've been footing a lot of your medical expenses and you've been visiting your doctor for a lot of your health reasons and you really like to spend money on your medical expenses and basically giving it to the medical fraternity, if that's the kind of money that you're earning and you would really want to continue to spend that money on only your medical expenses, then you shouldn't really think of taking up yoga. Because once you start the practice, what really happens is you begin to have a rise in your internal energies, and there are some 112 energy centers in our bodies which are called as chakras, and there are 72,000 nadis in the body. This inner self energy that rises up, that swirls up around our system over a period of time, because of the various yogic techniques that one really practices, it brings about better health, it brings about better living. And guess what? Once you have a better living and a better life and a better health, you don't need medical expenses, you don't need medical bills, you don't need to go to actually see the doctor. But like I said, that if you like, continue to go to doctor, please don't take up the practice. This is if your life is fully messed up, you have ugly things happening in your life and you don't really know what to do, how to do, why you should be doing it, and you want to really continue doing what you've been doing and messing up your life even further, then you shouldn't really take up yoga. Because when you take up the practice, what really happens is you begin to control this donkey here. Now, why do I call it as donkey? Because it's donkey until unless your mind is not controlled. But once you start controlling this donkey here, it will start serving you. Right now you are serving the donkey, but once you start taking the practice and you do it on a regular basis, ongoing basis, what really happens is you begin to have more control on this donkey, this 1.5 kg to 2 kgs of a donkey that's sitting here, which is all 60% fat. It's a brilliant machine. It's just like a computer, okay? But unfortunately, your life is ugly, messy, and all messed up because there is no control here. And guess what? When you start the practice and when you do it on a regular basis, you will begin to have more control on your mind. And once you have your mind in control, the rest of the things which are really not in control will begin to start falling in place for you. But like I said, that if you want to continue to enjoy your messy life, you want to continue to enjoy all the things that's possibly not going too great for you, then you shouldn't. Just absolutely don't worry about taking the yogic practices. Now, the third reason that you should absolutely not take up the yoga practices, if you enjoy eating and eating out of control, if you really enjoy your chunks, if you really enjoy your wax, if you really enjoy your oily stuff, and if you really feel absolutely good about the fact that you're feeling bloated, you're feeling acidic, you're feeling absolutely not too good after you've consumed your not so nice food, then you should absolutely not take up the yoga practice. Because when you start the practice, when you start to do all these yogic techniques and the yogic practices, what really happens is your cravings for the oily stuff, for the waxy stuff, for the chunks will begin to actually go down. It actually goes down. You will not crave for those junks. You will not crave for that salt. You will not crave for that sweet, because all of this that's really going into your system is not going to serve you. But until unless you don't take the practice, you will not have that understanding, because the body is not really aligned to the dimensions of your inner self. However, when you begin to practice, the body automatically begins to understand that all of the things that's really going into your system, all the things that you're actually putting into your mouth, if it is not serving you, it will start to reject. But like I said, if you feel absolutely fine carrying that extra pounds on your body, carrying that extra bloatness in your system, feeling absolutely fine to go around feeling fatigued, then please don't take up the yoga practice, because once you take up the practice, it's just going to lessen your propensity to want more of these. And ultimately what's really going to happen is you will begin to lose a lot of the unwanted weight that you may have gotten in the last couple of years. Now, the fourth and the most important point about you shouldn't really be starting your journey on yoga is that you've been living your life without any new ideas, without any new hunches. Now, if you want to continue to live with the old, not so much serving ideas, then you should not really take up the yoga practice. Because let me just tell you that once you start the practice, you will start to get newer ideas, you will start to get newer hunches, you will start to actually get bombarded with the newer way to look at life. However, like I said, that if you're actually happy just the way you're living your life, just with the old outdated ideas about you and your life, then you should absolutely not take up the practice. Please listen to me, don't take the practice. But once you start taking the practice, and once you start doing the yoga practice on a day-to-day basis, what really happens is you basically slow down your system. Right now, think of yourself as a car, and there is somebody driving the car, but the car is being really driven at a very high speed. Essentially, the car needs to really drive at a speed when you can actually observe things around, but the vehicle, that is your body, is being driven at tremendous speed. What yoga does is it will slow you down. Right, it's actually going to slow you down. It's going to slow down your processes. It's just going to slow you down, so that when you slow down, you will start to observe. You will just start to observe things around and things within. And once you begin the process of observation, and you have slowed down enough, you will start getting these newer, better, improved hunches and ideas. And you will get rid of the things that's not been serving you. But like I said, that if you're happy, if you are just comfortable with the old way of living, wherein just the way you've lived your entire life, then please listen to me. Don't take up the practice. The fifth most important aspect of yoga that you wouldn't really want to kind of, if you're just happy being non-creative, and you'd absolutely find that there is no creation, there are no new creative ideas that's coming into your life, or new solutions, creative solutions coming into your life, in your business, in your work, in your personal life, then please, I would really suggest, please don't take up the practice. Because ultimately what's really going to happen is when you take up the yogic practices and you begin to move your body in certain postures, in pranayama, in dhyana, what really happens is you're providing a lot of energy to your mind. Then you have a right side of the brain, and then you have the left side of your brain. Your left side of the brain is your analytical abilities, and your right side of the brain is your creativity. And what really happens when you actually start to practice yoga is you give more energy to both the sides of the hemisphere of your brain. And once you start giving more energy, guess what? It will give you more creative solutions that you've been, you may or may not have wanted, but then it'll start to give you those creative solutions to maybe your business, for your life, for your work, for your relationship, for your kids, for your spouses, anything. It'll just come to you, because the subtle energy will work in certain dimensions. But like I said, that if you don't really want, and if you want to really, just stay just the way you were, please don't take up the practice. The sixth most important thing about the yogic practices, and it's got to do with your thoughts. Now, your thoughts really create your life. Now, you've been thinking in certain way, and that's why you've been getting certain things in your life. There are no accidents that happen in this universe. Everything is coming to you because you have thought, or you have gotten aligned to this universe by thinking certain thoughts. Either they are good thoughts or bad thoughts. But unfortunately, the human mind is attuned to thinking more bad than something good. And guess what? Wherever the attention goes, that you start attracting that thing into your life. But there are only something good thoughts and there are some bad thoughts. If you pay more attention and more power to your negative thoughts, only the bad things, bad people, bad situations, bad circumstances are just going to end up in your life. However, there is a way that you can actually clear all of that, and the way is through practicing more of yogic science. When you start the yoga practice, when you continue to do your practices on the yogic path, what really happens is you will consciously understand if you're creating good thoughts or if you're creating bad thoughts. And what a powerful method this is. Once you understand whether you're creating a good or a bad, then you will also have the ability to choose what you really want to do, get into your life. However, the decision is up to you. If you really want to continue to get what you've been getting in your life and continue to just crib and cry about it, then don't worry about taking up the practice. You can just continue just the way you were and nothing is going to change. However, let me remind you, if you take up the practice, the thought patterns in your mind here will begin to change. You will begin the journey of being able to consciously choose your thoughts, and you will start choosing thoughts that really serve you, that really listens to you, and that really gets things and people and situations that really are good for you. Point number 7, peace within your own self. If you want to have more peace within your own self, then you should really take a practice. But if you don't, then you shouldn't really bother about taking up the practice, because once you start taking the practice on a day-to-day basis, what really happens is you will begin to enjoy your own company. You will begin to see and feel peaceful within your own self. Once you're at peace within your own self, the rest of the world will also would want to feel and come to you to enjoy your peace. However, what really happens over a period of time, that you feel not so peaceful, not so happy, is because somebody else is not happy, because somebody else is not making you happy, because of X factor not really going the way you wanted. But guess what? Once you start to internalize yourself, once you start to become happy within your own self, you start to take the remote control from the hands of your spouses, your fathers, your mothers, your sisters, your brothers, your husbands, your wife, your girlfriends, your boyfriends, into your own life, and you start controlling your own happiness. You start enjoying your own peace. You start enjoying your own relationship. And once you start enjoying your own self, the rest of the world will start enjoying your company. The rest of the world will start enjoying your presence. But if you're absolutely fine just the way you are right now, just the way it's absolutely not peaceful for you, then please don't take up the practice. Friends, point number 8. If you think your life is just passing, and it's really passing without even you being aware about what really is happening, then you're really not living your life to the fullest. Things are just coming, they're happening, and you think everything is just happening out of nowhere. However, when you start the yogic practices, what really will happen is you will begin your life to live in a much more mindful way. You will begin to observe each and everything in your life. Very simple tasks like washing your clothes, doing your dishes, driving your car, driving your bike, or even for that matter walking, everything will become much more blissful. It will turn out that everything that you want to do in your life, you will be much more present in that particular activity. I'm not talking about a mad rush, maddening things, doing all things at one time, but whatever that you will do, you will begin to be more present in that activity. For example, I'm talking to you right now. You will be more present to listening to me. Or if you're presenting yourself, you will be more present talking at that time. So what really will happen is you will be mindful of everything. You will be mindful of even eating. You will start to chew your food better. You will start to talk to people better. You will start to engage with everything on a different dimension. However, let me remind you, all of that will happen if you start the practice. But if you really want to continue being not mindful about anything in your life, and you want to really continue just like the life is just coming and just happening, please don't take up the practice. It's not going to serve you, because it's actually going to change you, and that subtle change will happen and you will not even come to know, but you will come to know once you start experiencing. The ninth point, why you shouldn't really be taking up the yoga practice. How often does it happen? It happens a lot in India, but I don't know if you're seeing the video outside India, that you actually dial someone and the signal is not that strong, or you're able to dial and you're not able to hear the other person because the signal is not strong, you're not able to get through. It's frustrating, you feel angry, isn't it? Your breath is your connection with your inner self. Your breath is your connection with your true self. Your breath is your true connection with your soul. Guess what? Please don't take up the practice if you don't want to really have a clearer, better, improved connection with your own self, wherein you're able to talk to your own self. But if you do want to continue with the same connection, then continue with what you're doing. Because when you take the yoga practice, it's just like changing your service provider. You're changing your service provider and you're coming to the real service provider who's provided you everything. And all you're going to do is you're just going to pay attention to the way you're breathing. And once you start paying attention to the way you're breathing, what really is going to happen is the signal over a period of time will begin to strengthen. It will begin to improve. The calls will not get dropped and you will feel much better, because what really happens is when you're breathing better, you're taking in more oxygen, and when you take more oxygen, what really happens is you're oxidizing a lot of your internal organs and you're giving up more carbon dioxide. That's on the physical world. But when you have a better breath, when you breathe better, what really happens is your connection with your own self gets strengthened. But the beauty here is you have to switch your connection from the world outside to the world inside. From the world that you're trying to connect outside, first try and connect it through your breath inside. And mind you, it's very simple, but there is some effort that you need to take. But it's on a day-to-day basis, on a daily basis, you need to be able to do this practice and you will feel much better. But like I said, that if you don't really want to have a better control and a better connection with the outside and the inside world, please don't take up the practice. If you want to know yourself, that's the 10th thing. If you really want to know yourself, then you should take up the yoga practice. But if you really don't want to know yourself, you shouldn't really take up the yoga practice. If you have lived your entire life with the identity which somebody else has given you, and you don't even know about your true self, then you have actually wasted your entire life. The only thing that you know in the world is your name, your address, your body, the status, the role that you play in your company, organization, business, then you've actually wasted your life. Of course, it is important to know what you possess, it is important to know what you've been given to you, or what you've amassed in the last couple of years, or from the time you've born. But then that's not the truth. You are not just in this finite body. You are much more than that. You are this massive swirl of energy that is really moving around, but you don't even know that. And I don't want to tell you that. If I tell you, and if you believe, there is no fun, because you're believing in something. And yoga is not about any belief. Yoga is not about any faith. Yoga is not that you close your eyes and just believe in something's magical. It's all about practical application of the ancient Indian tools. That's what yoga is all about. All you have to do is just start the practice, and you will realize it for your own self, maybe in weeks, maybe in months, maybe in years, or maybe in few births. But you certainly will. All you have to do is just take up the practice, and you will know your true identity. And that's the point number 10. And that's the most unique thing about this practice, that you will begin to explore about your own self, about your true identity. But like I said, if you don't really want to know about your own self, and if you're absolutely happy about just being this finite body, and you just think that, and you're just happy being this meat soup running around, then don't worry about taking up the practice. Just don't worry, because it's not going to really help you. You're just going to waste your time. Then don't take it. But if you really care, that you really want to know about yourself, then you can take up the practice. It will change your life. If you want to know what is the general yogic practices that you can do on a day-to-day basis, on all by yourself, and maybe you don't really have a time to actually go to a proper teacher and a competent guru, then please look up on some of the videos that I am going to be putting it in my description below. Or I would strongly suggest that if this video helps you to kind of start your yoga practice, please invest your time, effort, and some money with a good competent teacher who's going to be your guide and will guide you through the various tools of the yogic traditions that we have. And it's just going to certainly help you. And mind you, when you have somebody helping you through your journey on this path, it becomes much more easier to go through this journey with the teacher. And if you really liked, and if this video has been helpful to you, my request is, if you like the video, and also subscribe to the channel. It's really going to help not just you, but it will also help others as well. Thank you so much. Namaste. May joy be with you.